I want to give you a few reasons why you might want to sew your next binding on with your sewing machine. First off, it's a lot quicker than if you have to hand stitch all that binding around to the back of your quilt. So if you're under a deadline, like I often am, it's a much quicker process to add that binding to your quilt. Next, if you're making a quilt that's going to be used and loved a lot and washed a lot, a machine binding can be stronger than one where you've actually used hand stitches to affix it to the back of your quilt. And sometimes if you're making charity quilts, they actually ask you to use a machine binding because they want to make sure that that binding stays on that quilt and that those stitches on the back never come off. Also, if you want to add a little bit of extra bling or embellishment to your quilts, you can do that by stitching your binding on using decorative stitches. Our machines have so many decorative stitches on them these days, and that's a fun way to use them and add a little bit of extra interest to your quilt project. Finally, if you're someone who struggles with arthritis, finding it very painful or difficult to do those hand stitches to get your binding attached to the back of your quilt, machine binding might be a better option for you. So, if you've never tried machine binding, why not give it a try? Be sure to go to my Chatterbox Quilt YouTube channel for a video on how to add binding to your quilt using a sewing machine.